Hi, I'm Gillian and welcome to the show. I offer spiritual growth for the rebel soul, guiding you through the labyrinth of your own ascension path. This show is for the rebel souls that challenge the status quo, those that crave authenticity in every single aspect of their lives, that desire to embrace their uniqueness, follow their passions, connect to their soul, and live according to who they truly are, even if that means having the courage to go against the grain or the norms of society. If that's you, my spiritual soul seeker, rebel warrior, then this is the place for you. On this podcast, we speak about everything from spirituality, sexuality, conscious relationships, business, and literally everything in between. So if that's your jam, then stay tuned. And go on, be a rebel and subscribe. You know you want to. Hello, you beautiful souls, and welcome back to the podcast. So today I wanted to talk about something so deeply personal and really honestly sacred to me. It is the love, the gratitude, and the reverence that I hold for my clients, especially as they come to the end of their journey working with me. Now, anyone that is in this field as a spiritual therapist or healer or even as a coach, anyone that has a level of transformation or a role of transformation in someone's life, it is a really unique experience. And I kind of likened it to, I suppose, watching your first child head off to school or university for the first time. Like, it's kind of like bittersweet, but it's so full of love, so full of pride, and a little like ache of letting go. So in this episode, I wanted to honor that sacred connection and celebrate the transformative work that we've done with all of my clients, and also explore some of the complexities that can sometimes arise between clients and mentors when a container comes to a close. Now, as I said, if you are either in this field, or if you're a coach, or if you're a mentor or leader, or even just a boss in some way, or a manager in some way, as any kind of leader, and someone resigns, or someone leaves your container, or just the end of your work has come to a close with what was agreed, then it can bring up so many things. For those of you that know, I used to run my own recruitment company. So I was used to dealing every single day with hiring my own team, over the years, different people coming and going, again, helping my clients who were major media marketing and technology companies, like Disney and Seven and, Netflix, to hire and fire, their team as well. Like, it really comes with so many complexities, but even so much more when it's a relationship within the field like that I work in. So, and because I believe in authenticity and I believe in vulnerability, I'm actually going to share an experience that I had with a mentor that really profoundly shaped my understanding of these transitions, and why it's so important to approach all of them with love, respect, and awareness of some of the unseen dynamics at play. So when a client finishes their journey with me, it's not just closing of a program. It's the culmination of, I see it as like a sacred story that we've co-written. A story of transformation, a story of healing, and a story of growth. But sometimes when a container ends, the emotions that arise can get, complicated. Now, I know this not just as a mentor, but someone who has been in the client's shoes. I have worked with so many mentors over my years, from business to healers to other spiritual teachers and mentors. I've trained in lots of different modalities. So I've had many different experiences. And this is why I like to look at the duality of things. And there's a particular experience that I had with one mentor whose container I knew had come to a natural end for me. like this particular mentor I just continued working with, over quite a long period of time. And I just essentially never renewed when potentially I had renewed in the past. I just knew that the work that we had done was beautiful and amazing and had just come to a natural end for me. So when that happened, my intuition was super clear. Like I had learned what I needed and it was time for me to step into the next phase on my own. But when I didn't renew, like the energy between us just shifted so dramatically. Like I cannot tell you, it was just like instant and I felt it. I felt it so suddenly. The relationship that had once felt empowering and super supportive just all of a sudden became heavy and like strange almost. Like I could just sense that my decision to step away had completely triggered something in them. And it felt like I was just caught in this uncomfortable dynamic that I actually didn't fully understand. So me being me, I knew there was something deeper and I knew that energetically there was some kind of thing to be understood by this dynamic and something to be cleared, because like this is the power of my work. I have the power and the autonomy to be able to understand things at a deeper level, at an unseen level, and clear anything that doesn't feel empowering for me. And this is what I help my clients do as well for their own lives. So I knew there was something in a past life. Like I just intuitively knew that there was some kind of old dynamic that was playing out in this particular person's response and reaction to me. And it wasn't until I went into a past life for myself that I uncovered the deeper roots of what was actually going on. So in that past life, in that regression, I was actually taken back to a life in the Aztec civilization. And I saw pyramids and I saw like the whole landscape. And in that lifetime, I was a teenager. I was female, I was a teenager. And this mentor, along with two other people that I didn't recognize, had been part of a ritual where I was basically sacrificed. Now, in this experience, my death was harnessed for power and for greed and for magic. And I could feel the intensity of that betrayal like in my soul, like that deep soul resonance. And then when I looked at the energy in this life, it was actually eerily similar. Now, this is what can happen, guys. Like in certain relationships in our life, we could be playing out past life karma or past life trauma with the soul from another lifetime. And this very much happens within mentor and client relationships. So like the dynamic that was unconsciously being mirrored in that past life was the power imbalance, where I'd felt drained and used rather than empowered to move forward. So it was like as though my decision to step away had kind of like interrupted an unspoken expectation that I would just continue, not necessarily feeding their energy in some way, but I do believe that they had an unconscious belief that through my work and stepping into my power and my business, it would then also empower them in their business somehow. Like we would maybe do something together, or like not entirely sure of the expectations, but that was the feeling anyway. So obviously when I was given that information from this past life, it was kind of like both a mix of shocking and healing. To be fair, nothing shocks me. So it probably wasn't that shocking, but it was just really healing. And I obviously managed to clear and understand what was happening, what the dynamic was, what was coming up for that person, and why they were reacting the way that they were with me when I had, not continued our container together. And I was able to clear that energy. I was able to heal that. And again, it just gave me that deeper understanding of why the energy had felt so off with us. And it really taught me like this invaluable lesson about the importance of clear boundaries, sovereignty, and honoring the natural cycle of mentorship. And like this was something that I had always known and I always was good with generally when I had my recruitment company, because I had that for years. And as a manager, you are gonna hire people, you're gonna put your blood, sweat and tears into training them, into mentoring them, into making them the best version within their job as possible. And of course, when I had my recruitment company, because I was also doing a lot of my spiritual and healing work, I was never just a manager. I ended up being my team's therapist as well. But this is something that I feel like I always had a natural understanding of. And because I was in recruitment, I was helping, I spoke to people all the time that were starting jobs and leaving jobs. And I just knew it was just like the natural flow and evolution of someone's career, right? But I never took it personally when, any of my teams over the years had decided to go into a new opportunity. In fact, I would help and support them whatever way I could. Like, I never took that personally as a manager. Whereas I had dealt with some managers that absolutely did. They took that so personally, like that person was like stabbing them in the heart and betraying them in some way by leaving a job or wanting to leave their business or whatever it was. And I'm like, it's not personal. It's not about you. It's like there's just something, they've outgrown this role, or there's something better there for them. Like this is part of, we all have our own evolution. We all have our own path to growth. And I've always just had that knowing, obviously having run my own business previously before my spiritual business. So I always kind of got it, right? And the reason that I wanted to share this and being able to not only honor like the amazing, beautiful experiences and time that I get to have with my clients, even if it's just for 3 months, if it's for 6 months, if it's for a year, if it's for many years, it doesn't matter, because I know that the work that we've done together has been so profound. And actually, it's exciting for me when someone finishes, because it's like, oh my God, you have the tools and are empowered to go on your next step of your journey. And I've been a part of helping support you in that. So, I don't want to share this story to create fear around mentor-client relationships, like not at all. But I just want to emphasize how deeply, deeply layered these dynamics can be. Like when we work together in a spiritual or energetic capacity specifically, like we're often playing out threads from timelines, many, many timelines before. So it's really important to approach any transition with awareness, with love and respect for ourselves and for each other, and for the sacred work that we've actually done together. So, honestly, this is why as a mentor I hold so much love and gratitude for my clients when they complete a journey with me. I just had a client complete a journey with me today, and this was my inspiration for creating this podcast today. And I did a little sacred ceremony. I gave my blessing, and I did a little private ritual after our last session, because I felt so honored, and I see it as like a sacred transition, a moment to really honor all that we've shared and to trust that they're stepping into their next chapter with everything that they need. And for me, like I also understand the complexities that can arise, for both the client and the mentor when there's emotions to process, when there's old wounds to recognize, when there's past life dynamics to heal. But honestly, at the heart of it all, it's just like a deep respect for the journey and trust in divine timing. So to all of my clients, whether you've worked with me in the past or working with me now, like, please know this. Like, you are not just a client to me. And I think all my clients know this, because I'm like, tell me what's going on in your life, please, like I'm invested in your journey, regardless if we are working together every week or our container is finished, I'm like, want you to know that you're not just a client to me. You are, in my eyes, a soul who has chosen to walk beside me for part of your journey. And that is honestly something I will never, ever take lightly. And that's something that I literally said to my client today. Because I'm like, as much as she was thanking me and had so much gratitude for me and all that we'd achieved and how much she'd shifted and transformed through our time together, I also felt as equally that for her. So to every client, as I said, who's ever finished their journey with me, or let's just maybe say, it's taken a pause because, I do find that even if we finish a container, we will end up working together when I put more stuff out and different things out, when your clients are there, like they're always there, which I just love. So I guess just know this, like you are loved, you're honored, and the sacred story that we've written together will always live on. I feel like, it's like every mentor that I've had, every experience that I had has shaped me into who I was becoming. and reminded me of the power that I hold, that I held. And I feel like that's, as a mentor for other people, that's exactly what I hold deeply in my heart to do as well. So I also wanted to say that anyone navigating the complexities of stepping away from a mentor or a guide, I also just want to tell you this, trust yourself, trust your intuition and the lessons that you've gained. And if the energy feels off, then know that it's okay to explore that, whether through your own reflection or deeper spiritual work. Like, you can clear these things, because sometimes as much as we want these dynamics to be clear and clean, sometimes they're not, because even as mentors, even as healers, even as coaches, even as guides, we still have our own shit, right? Like, that will come up. And if you are in a teaching or a mentorship or a healing or a leadership role, whatever it is that you do in your life, where you have people that you mentor, that you guide, that you teach, that you lead, you have to also be aware of your shit. You have to take responsibility that your clients are also potentially going to trigger you, when they leave, or when, they disagree with you, or whatever it is. This is also part of your growth. So I just wanted to, again, thank you for being a part of my world and allowing me to be a part of yours. So for those of you that are listening, who are still on your own journey, whether that's with me or with another guide or on your own, just know this. That's the beauty of soul-led work. It's not just about what we achieve. It's about the love, the connection, and the sacredness we create along the way. So thank you for tuning in. And as always, thank you for sharing this space with me. Until next time, keep walking your path with courage, trust, and love.